हरिः ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः, भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः, स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः, स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः, स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः, स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम सहना भवतु, सहनौ भुनक्तु, सह वीर्यं करवावहै, तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। निधये सर्वविद्यानां विषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ तपोभिः क्षीणपापानां शान्तानां वीतरागिणां मुमुक्षूणामपेक्षोऽयम् आत्मबोधो विधीयते। Verse number 51. बाह्यानित्यसुखासक्तिं हित्वा आत्मसुखिर्निर्वृतः, हित्वा आत्मसुखनिर्वृतः घटस्थदीपवत् शश्वत अंतरेव प्रकाशते, अंतरेव प्रकाशते। Adi Shankaracharya ji is describing the lifestyle, the attitude of the Jivan Mukti. So how he is dealing with the enjoyments in this world. What is his vision for these enjoyments in this world? Though as a Vairagya we have already seen that all this Jagat which is Anitya, being Anitya, we are not interested in these worldly enjoyments. That is the definition of Vairagya. Iha amutra phalabhoga viragaha. There is a dispassion towards the enjoyment in this world. Iha, amutra, the world above. But this Jivan Mukta, how he look for these enjoyments in this world. So Shankaracharya says, Bahya anitya sukhasaktim hitva. He doesn't have any kind of the attachment, any kind of the interest in this external happiness. Why? Anitya. Anitya sukha. It is not eternal sukha. It is not nitya sukha. It is temporary. Not even temporary. It is momentary. Though we use the word anitya, but all this happiness, what we are seeing, they are momentary. Suppose somebody says, I like ice cream. That ice cream, when the person puts on the tongue, only a particular time there is happiness. It's a momentary, understand? And therefore, understanding this external happiness as a momentary, he gives up, having given up, hitva. That means he doesn't, as yesterday I said, he doesn't have interest in the external happiness at all. Why? Atmanieva Atmana Tushta. He is happy with himself. He sees himself as Brahmananda Swarupaha. And therefore, Shankaracharya said, having given up all this momentary happiness of the external world, Atma Sukha Nirvrutaha. Look at this. Atma Sukha Nirvrutaha. Nirvrutaha. Nirvruta means the happiness without any enjoyments. In Sanskrit called Sahaja Sukha. There is no object-subject connection. There is no other object. There is no conditions. There is no particular time, place, object. Nirvruta means unconditional happiness. And that happiness is what? Atma Sukha. Understand? So he revels into this non-conditional happiness. At the moment, what we are doing is what? All our happiness is conditional happiness. All these conditions on the country, on the season, on the people, on the relationship, on money, understand? All these conditions are there. All our happiness depend on all these things. And therefore, if the condition changes, happiness goes off. And therefore, nirvruta sukha. There is no condition at all. He doesn't need to perform any action. He doesn't need to enjoy something. Therefore, it is called swatantra, nirvruta, non-conditional happiness. And that is what? Atma Sukha. So he revels into himself. So Shankaracharya gives the example for this. Gata Deepavata Shashvata Antareva Prakashate. Gata Deepa. Suppose you put the lamp in the pot and you light up that. The light, it will be where? Ghata Deepava, Ghatastha Deepavata. Ghatastha. That Deepa, the lamp, that light, is inside the pot. So, the light which is inside the pot is inside only. Antareva Prakashate. It illumines inside only. Understand? Within the pot area, it is illuminating. Same way, this Atma Sukha also is what? Antareva Prakashate. Understand? See, as I said, externally, whatever is there, role playing is there, understand? Actor is beggar, so externally he is unhappy. Externally he is miserly. Externally he is very miserable. Internally what? He is happy. I am playing this role of beggar very nicely. Understand? That is internal. Antareva. Inside he is very happy. Though he is playing this role. When we lost war against China in 62, whole country was sad. Everybody was so shocked. That time only one radio, All India Radio was there. So, our late Lata Mangeshkar, the singer, she was asked to play sing this song written by one poet. So, a whole country was listening to this song by Lata Mangeshkar. O mere watan ke logo, jara aankhon mein bhar do pani. The whole country was crying, listening to this song. Why? So many soldiers died in this war. We lost the land, we lost our soldiers. So it was a very sad moment for the country. So when she was singing, look at this. Whole country was listening to her song. ए मेरे वतन के लोगों, जरा आंखों में भर दो पानी. Now, listening to this, understand this. Everybody was sad. Everybody had tears in their eyes. But inside, what Lata Mangeshkar was thinking? She was congratulating herself that I sang this song very well. Understand? It's not that she was not sad. She was also sad. But inside, she was congratulating oneself. Why? Because she sang the song exactly what was expected by her. So that means there is an internal, there is a happiness. Atma Sukha Nirvrutta. This happiness is what? Antare Prakasha. It is not outside, understand? Outside you may be crying. Outside you may be sad. But inside you are happy. This is very difficult, understand? It's not that easy. Because you have to learn to develop the thumb space between you and the role playing. Whatever role you are playing, you have to have that distance between you and the role. As the actor has a distance between himself and the role. Once you learn to develop that, then you can enjoy anything. Even you are crying, you can enjoy. If you are sad, that also you can enjoy. Understand? And therefore, Shankaracharya says, as the lamp which is in the pot, it shines inside. Similarly, this happiness also shines inside. Prakashate means it shines inside. You don't need anything else. You are happy by yourself. As the sun is bright, it's bright by itself. It's illuminating. It's brilliant by itself. Fire is hot by itself. Water is cool by itself. Same way, you are that happiness which is you. It's a non-conditional. No external condition is required. I always tell that you don't think that person who is enjoying himself will be outside also laughing all the time. No. It's not necessary. Prarabdha, destiny can bring any kind of the condition in the life. There are different types of the conditions in our life, and we are facing those conditions. But internally, there is no sadness in the person. There is no regression. Swamiji used to tell there are only two things are there. Guilt and hurt, understand. Whenever we take ourselves a doership, kartutva, there will be guilt. When we take ourselves as an enjoyer, bhoktrutva, enjoyership, there will be hurt. But once you understand that there is no doership, there is no enjoyership, there is no kartutva, bhoktrutva, you are free from guilt and hurt. There is nothing there which can make you unhappy. And therefore, Shankaracharya says, his happiness, the happiness of the liberated person while living, Jivan Mukta, is internally. And internally, he is happy by himself. Externally, whatever is the condition. So, this happiness, we also need to search for that. We also need to experience that. Understand? And therefore, in Sanskrit, instead of telling experience as an anubhava, there is another word, it's called anubhuti. Understand? For experiencing this happiness, enjoying this happiness is called anubhuti. Therefore, one of the this primary grantha of Shankaracharya is called aparokshanubhuti. Without any condition, without any effort, you are enjoying internally. And therefore, this is the internally, whether I am happy or not. Outside, there can be anything. And therefore, Shankaracharya gives the example that as the lamp is there inside the pot, it illumines inside. Similarly, this ananda, this happiness is illuminating inside only. No other person can know. All these measurements or whatever characteristics are given is not to measure somebody else, but to measure ourselves. Whether I am enjoying that Atma Sukha or not. Sukhamatyantikam yattata buddhigrahya matindriyam. In 6th chapter, Bhagavan says, it is Atyantika Sukha. It is a limitless happiness. There is no limit. It is a limitless happiness, but it is not can be grasped by the senses, atindriya. But buddhigrahya, it can be experienced by oneself. You have to understand this sukha, Atma Sukha. Understand? And therefore, we can have this question. Swamini ji, that is fine. Jivan muktasya tagnadrashtya prarabdha bhavepi agnadrashtya prarabdha bhasasya vidyamanatvat. From the standpoint of the vision of this knowledge, there is no prarabdha, there is no karma, understand? As yesterday I was telling, it is not that after Vedanta knowledge, you will be liberated. Now also you are liberated. Now also there is no birth for you. There is no birth. Before also you were not born. Now also you are not born. Afterward also you are not going to born. Going to be born. Understand? So when there is no birth, where is a question of this upadhi? And therefore, Shankaracharya says, from the ignorant people, from the people outside, there is a upadhi of Jivan Mukta. From his standpoint, there is no upadhi, understand? Tadgna drashtya prarabdha abhave. For the wise person, there is no prarabdha. Only from the standpoint of the ignorant vision of ignorant people, there is a prarabdha. And that prarabdha is continuing. How long it will continue? As long as that body prarabdha is there, sharira yatra karyeshu katham statavyam. So the wise person also, as long as this body prarabdha is there, he continues as Jivan Mukta. But when he continues as Jivan Mukta, what is that? Buddha balakavata krideta kushalaha jadavacharet. So they say he revels like a child. Or even though he is a vidwan, he is a wise person, jadavachareta, he behaves like he doesn't understand anything. Vadedunmatavad vidwan gocharyam naigamashwara, understand. According to his prarabdha, he is going to behave. It is not necessary that he will be like this only. And therefore, next verse Shankaracharya explains that from his standpoint, there is no upadhi, there is no prarabdha, there is no birth and death. But from the standpoint of this world, from the vision of the ignorant people, he has this life. What is that life of Jivan Mukta is explained in the 52 verse. Upadisthopi tadharmaihi, upadisthopi tadharmaihi, alipto vyomavan munihi, alipto vyomavan munihi, sarva vinmudhavattistheta, sarva vinmudhavattistheta, asakto vayuvaccharet, asakto vayuvaccharet. Who is this Jivan Mukta? Upadisthopi, even though he lives in this upadhi. Tadharmaihi aliptaha. He is not tainted by any quality of this upadhi. How? Vyomavata. As akasha, as the space is everywhere. But space is not tainted by anything. Even though Vayu, there is a kind of the Vayu is there. There is a fire. Because of the fire, there is a smoke. Because of the pollution, there is a smoke. Understand? The smoke and fog, they become smoke. But there is a pollution in the space, no? Space is asanga, untouched, understand? Similarly, this Jivan Mukta, though upadhisthopi, though he lives in this upadhi, he is not touched, he is not tainted by this upadhi at all. And therefore, how? Like a sky, like a space. Not only that, he doesn't need to prove himself. See, our problem is always we try to prove ourselves. And therefore, Shankaracharya says, Sarvavita Mudhavattistheta. He's Sarvavit. He's all knowledge. But he behaves like a child, like a mudha, like the deluded person. Like he doesn't understand anything. See, sometimes we go too far to prove ourselves. Here, this wise person, this Jivan Mukta, he doesn't need to prove his knowledge to anybody. in any condition. And therefore, though he is all knowledge, sarvavit, mudhavattishteta, as though he doesn't understand anything. Mudha means foolish person, understand? Fool. Why? He doesn't need to prove his knowledge. Sometimes some people are talking, he knows what they are talking is not right. He doesn't get into that conversation. As though he doesn't understand anything. We don't need to get into any conversation. And when we are traveling, when we are in the middle of the people, see, there is a sentence for Vedanta teacher that if somebody doesn't ask you anything, don't talk. Approach. If person is not interested, you don't need to talk to him. And then Swamiji used to tell, you talk to him about the weather or tell him, let's have a coffee. I mean, he doesn't need to prove that I am all knowledge, I am Gnani, I am wise person. Not only that, he doesn't see the need to do that. Understand? There is no pressure inside that he has to prove that I am wise person. And therefore Shankaracharya says, Sarvavit mudhavattishteta. Not only that, he is moving in this world, understand? It's not that he has confined himself in one room. He keeps on moving in this world. He is transacting in this world. Though he is transacting in this world, he is what? Asaktaha vayuvachareta. Asaktaha. He is not attached to anything. Though he is moving around like a vayu, like the vayu is moving around all over. Understand? But he doesn't need to do. He keeps moving. He is not confining to one place. He doesn't need to do that. Understand? And therefore, Bhagavan also said, understand? Vihaya kamanya sarvan pumam sharati nispruhaha. Look at that. Pumam sharati. Understand? He is moving around. He is going from place to place. But how? Vihaya kamanya sarvan pumam sharati nispruhaha. Nirmamo nirahankaraha. He doesn't have any my sense or I sense in anything, including this body. This is my body, this is me. No, no I sense, no my sense, understand? Same way, Shankaracharya said, Vayu vacharet, as the Vayu moves all over. Asaktaha, untouched by anything. He's not attached to anything. And therefore, these three examples, Shankaracharya gives Vyomavata, like the space, like a Vayu, like a full person. Understand? By these three examples, Shankaracharya is trying to explain us the lifestyle of the Jivan Mukta. There is no necessity for him to prove himself. And therefore, though he knows everything, he doesn't need to prove. To whom you prove, understand? By proving what you are going to prove. Somebody asked Swamiji, Swamiji, what is your profile? You know, nowadays all this job, for the job you have to prepare your profile. CV, they call now. Swamini, I don't have any profile. And there is no self-identity. Whatever is there is upadhi is there, and that upadhi is functioning. And for the upadhi, sharira yatra pichate na prasiddhayed. And for Agnani, he has to take care of this body. But for Gnani, Prarabdha takes care of his upadhi. And therefore, he doesn't need to worry about that. Right? Tarati shoka atmavita. Once person has known himself, there is no sorrow. There is no disturbance for him. Understand? All this what we see or what we are experiencing is externally from the standpoint of this upadhi only. In Chandogya Upanishad, therefore it is said, no chet kimichan kasya kamaya shariram anusamjareta. He doesn't have any desire, and therefore for what he is going to disturb his upadhi. Understand? He doesn't need to do that. Yada sarve pramuchyante kamaye anya hridishritaha atha martya amruto bhavati. Once he has understood himself as happiness, there is no particular condition or country or the upadhi is required. There is no desire for him to be happy. And therefore, kimichan kasya kamaya. Look at this. For which desire, for which object, understand? He has to use this upadhi. Upadhi is not only body, mind, sense, complex, all things. So therefore, there is a one sentence called Prarabdhaya Samarpitam Swavapu. He has surrendered this upadhi to the Prarabdha. Understand? Nirahankaraha. So Bhagavan says, very nicely understand that second chapter. Vihaya kamanya sarvam pumam sharati nispruhaha nirmamaha nirahankaraha. Then what happened? Sashanti madi gacchati. He is in peace and this. In Bharat, we don't have what they call RIP, rest in peace. Understand? That's not our culture. Understand? RIP is not our culture. A lot of people, when they heard something, they will write RIP, rest in peace. We don't have that rest in peace. We pray for the better body, understand? Because we believe in this one. Understand? The person is going to have another body. That's why we call Sadgati. They cremate the body and therefore they have to say rest in peace, understand? We don't cremate. We pray for the better body for the person. That's why we say Sadgati. Same way, here also, Shanti Madi Gacchati means not rest in peace, understand? Shanti is Swarupa. Shantam Shivam Advaitam. We already saw that. The happiness, the Shanti is all one and the same thing. Understand? These three words are there. Abhayam, fearlessness. Sukham, happiness. Shanti. Though words are three, in reality, the meaning is only one. Why? Bhagavan himself says in Gita, Ashantasya kutas sukham. The person who is not at peace, where is the happiness for him? Understand? If person says, I'm happy, but I'm very fearful, is it possible? No. Abhay, Shanti, and Sukha. They are three and the one. Because wherever there is a happiness, there is a Shanti. Wherever there is a happiness, there is a Abhaita, fearlessness. There is no fearful happiness. There is no fearful peace. Not possible. And therefore, whenever we say Shanti Madi Gacchati, that doesn't mean he gains happiness. He gains Shanti. No. It is his Swarupa. He abides in that Swarupa, which is happiness, which is peace, which is fearlessness. As long as we have identified with this body, there is a fear. Understand? Jara, Rogadi, and from the standpoint of this body, there is a fear of disease, there is a fear of old age. From the standpoint of the prana, there is a possibility of disturbance in prana. I lose my hunger, indigestion, all this is prana. Or if I take myself as mind, there is a fear of unhappiness, there is a fear of insult, there is a fear of ignorance. But nirmamaha nirahankaraha. Once you have dissociated yourself from this body, understand? The dissociation has to be there. Once the dissociation is there, nirmama nirahankara, that is called dissociation. There is a shanti, there is a happiness. And therefore, for Brahmavid, for the person who knows himself as Brahman, he continues with this body as it is. Sharira yatra dishu sarveshu karyeshu purvokta prakarena statavyamiti siddham. He continues with this. Whatever body is given, it is given. Whatever is to be done for the continuation of this upadhi, he continues. If he has to take a medicine, he takes the medicine. When there is a fever in the body, you take the medicine. When there is a high pressure, you take the medicine. When there is a diabetes, you take the medicine. Your mind is tired, better you take the rest. So, from the standpoint of upadhi, he continues as it is. But internally, he is happy. He is having a peaceful life. And therefore, Shankaracharya says that there is no particular desire for this body. Whatever is required, he does that. But not there any special requirement is there. Why? Asaktaha. Because he is not attached to anything. Not with this body, mind, sense complex or anything which is connected to this body, mind, sense complex. He is not attached to anything. And therefore, whatever is the prarabdha, he goes with prarabdha. But just Swamini used to say this word, he goes with prarabdha. Because that prarabdha also is not prarabdha of the self, prarabdha of this upadhi. And therefore, whatever is the prarabdha of this upadhi, he continues with that. Now, this is the last verse regarding this Jivan Mukta. What happens to Jivan Mukta when this body goes off? Means the prarabdha of this body is completed. So, next verse. Upadhi vilayad Vishnu, Upadhi vilayad Vishnu, Nirvishesham Vishen Munihi, Nirvishesham Vishen Munihi, Jale Jalam Vyodvyomni, Jale Jalam Vyadvomni, Tejas Tejasiva Yatha, Tejas Tejasiva Yatha. Upadhi vilayat Vishnu nirvishesham visheta munihi. So he is living the life of liberation, the Jivan Mukta. When the prarabdha of this body, mind, sense complex is over, Upadhi vilayat. When this body prarabdha is over, it gets destroyed. Nirvishesham, there is no Vishesha anymore. Because of the Upadhi, there were some kind of the Vishesha, some kind of the qualities were there, understand? But once the body is being destroyed, Vishnu Nive Vishen Munihi, as though he enters, understand? Not really. Vishnu, he merges, the Vishen word is there, understand? As though he merges, he enters into the Vishnu. But don't take it literally, understand? This is the word meaning I'm telling you. Just for our understanding, this word is given. Suppose there is a ghatakasha, there is a pot space, and there is a space outside. The upadhi, the pot is broken. What happens? Gata, as though Gatakash has merged into Mahakash. The pot space has merged into the space. Is it really? No. It is as though, understand. Because of the wall of the pot, it was looking like there was a pot space and there is an external space. But in reality, nobody can divide the space. And therefore, Shankaracharya uses the word Vishnu, unto Vishnu. Understand? Who is Vishnu? Veveshti iti Vishnu. Here it is not Chaturbhuj Vishnu, understand? Vishnu means Veveshti iti Vishnu. One who is all pervasive, like the space. As the space is all pervasive, the self, he knows that I am all pervasive Brahman. Because of this upadhi, it looks like he was abided. He is limited by this body, like a pot space. Once the pot is destroyed, he is one with the space. Similarly, once the upadhi is being destroyed, he is one with the Brahman. It's called Videha Mukti. So Shankaracharya gives three definitions. Jalam, Jale, understand. As water merge into water. Space merges into space. Pot space merges into the external space. Tejaha, Tejasi. The fire merges into the fire. Same way. The self is one with Brahman. So as long as this upadhi is there, so because of the upadhi, it looks like he's separate from the Brahman as a pot space. But once this upadhi prarabdha is over, he's one with the sun. That means he attains this Brahman. There is no more birth and death for him, because he knows I am limitless consciousness. And therefore, it is exactly like water into water and fire into fire and the space into space. That means what? There is no merging, understand? From our standpoint, it looks like he merged. And therefore, this is called Videha. Tasya prana anautkramante brahmavid brahmaiva bhavati. In Mundaka Upanishad said, Brahmavid brahmaiva bhavati. One who knows Brahman, he is Brahman. Understand? So there is no thing. Even Bhagavan said, Gnani tu atmaiva me matam. The wise person is my Atma, understand? Is non-separate from this Ishvara. And therefore, Shankaracharya used a very nice, understand, word here, nirvishesham. Vishnu nirvishesham vishet munihi. All vishesha, all specialities, all qualities are from the standpoint of upadhi. From the standpoint of the all-pervasive consciousness, there is no upadhi, there is no quality, understand? Nirvishesha. There is no visheshta, there is no speciality, understand? Even when living in this body, he was a nirvishesha. Once the prarabdha of this body, mind, sense complex is over, he is nirvishesha. And therefore, Shankaracharya says that as long as prarabdha is there, all this is going on. All this happens. But once the prarabdha is over, he gains videha mukti. And therefore, this is the life of Jivan Mukta. And now, from verse 54 to 56, these 3 verses, Shankaracharya is going to talk about what is the benefit of this Brahma Gnana. And why should I gain this Brahma Gnana? So, in these 3 verses, he is going to praise this knowledge of Brahman. So, very beautifully, 3 verses, he is going to talk about this, the beauty, the speciality, Vishesha of this knowledge of Brahman. So, that we'll see tomorrow. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutangamaya Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasheshyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Hari Om
Hari Om Mama.
Hari Om
Hari Om Swamini.
Hari Om Swamini.
Hari Om Swami.
Hari Om Swamini.